Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Of course, this is Cryptid Crew, and today we are actually going to be talking about a very interesting topic. Today, we will be talking about a game called Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, most of you, if not all of you, have heard of this game. Actually, I recently just played it on my channel, so if you haven't yet, go make sure to watch that video before watching this one, because in today's video I'm going to explain, sort of the lore, or not the lore, like what happens, in Five Nights at Freddy's. So, ready or not, let's get into this. So, the FNAF starts off, so you are a security guard in an abandoned pizza place called, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And, everything was normal, until 1983. When the bite of 83 happened. And the bite of 83 happened because the owner of the owner of the establishment, William Afton, he had two children, or three actually, he had Michael Afton, Elizabeth Afton, and then one other Afton that is unnamed, but most people just call him Crying Child. So, Crying Child, he was obviously a very scared kid. You see, if you've played the games, he's especially in FNAF 4, which is actually where these events occur. He's very scared. So, what his brother does is he wears a mask. It's a mask of a character named Foxy. And, he just, pokes out and scares the Crying Child. So, that's what's up with that. And then, on Crying Child's birthday, they actually go to the pizzeria, and Michael Afton and his friends decided it's a great idea to shove Crying Child's head inside of the Fredbear animatronic. Actually, let me explain this a bit further. See, there was two animatronics. There was Fredbear, and then there was there was Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. And Fredbear, he was a big animatronic, and Crying Child was scared of him, right? Because he's really big. Well, actually, I'm not sure if that's the reason why, but, Okay, so then, Michael Afton, along with his friends, is he wants a big kiss. So, they put his head in the animatronic, and the spring locks in the mouth, they messed up because he was crying a lot, and the spring locks actually ended up biting his skull and basically just removing his frontal lobe entirely. So yeah, a bit of a whoopsie daisy. So that's where FNAF 4 takes place. And because FNAF 4 is an interesting case because you're playing as the crying child, as he is dying. And proof of this is that, like, in the game, if you turn around sometimes, in the game, you can see next to the bed how do you say this? An IV bag or a thing of flowers next to his bed, indicating the fact that he is in the hospital and he was dying the whole time. So he's basically trapped in this nightmare with these nightmare animatronics. They're really spooky looking, and you know, if I was trapped in a dream like that, I would be freaking terrified. So you can't really blame the crying child for being scared. And yeah. So that's the first game. Well, not the first game, but it's canonically the first game that happens. And then there's Five Nights at Freddy's 1. And we're we hear the phone guy actually talking about the bite of 87, or the bite, well, a lot, and then Five Nights at Freddy's 1 comes along, and you're playing as a character called Mike Schmidt, and Mike Schmidt, you know, he's just working there, and there's this guy called the phone guy. And, you know, you play as Mike Schmidt. And so what? Like, the animatronics are, like, attacking you, and they're not very nice. So, you know, after a couple of nights, the phone guy actually dies, because he got attacked by a animatronic called Golden Freddy, which actually didn't show up in my last video, and which I'm a bit surprised about. Well, yeah, in the game, Golden Freddy, he appears and he just makes your game just crash entirely, which is a pretty cool mechanic if I do say so myself. So yeah. And then we have Bonnie. Bonnie starts off in the main stage, and you know, he can just go, like, he can actually trick you, which has actually happened to me before. And then there's Chica, who is an animatronic that we all know and love. She's a chicken, and she likes to hang out in the kitchen, but she also starts off in the main stage, and then she just proceeds to move around a bit. And then there's Foxy, which he's in Pirate Cove, and you have to, like, take care of him. Like, you have to check up on him every once in a while. But the more you do that, the more agitated he gets. So he will try and, like, bang on your door, like that. So, yeah. And then there is one last thing I was trying to talk about. It is Freddy Fazbear, who is actually more active during the nighttime, which I really think is interesting, because it's like Batman, basically. Like, he works better in the dark, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, if you run out of power, then he's like, huh. And then this little song plays, and it basically tells you you're fucked. So then there's FNAF 2 with these animatronic. They're called the toy animatronics, and one of them is called Mangle, and she is actually the one responsible for the bite of 87, because she actually Mangle is actually he. So he attacks one of the children from like up high, and that's the bite of 87. So that's that. And then FNAF 3, or actually one important detail that I might have to talk about is William Afton. He's, you see, in FNAF 2, we actually learn that he killed the children. Like, there was a bunch of missing children, and William Afton killed them. So one of the nights he saw one of the missing kids, and like he just decided to run away because he was scared. And he went inside the back room, and he saw an animatronic suit. And when he saw that suit, he was like, huh, I could fit inside there. And then he died. He got spring locked, as we call it. The spring locks crushed every bone in his body, and he died. So that's where FNAF 3 happens. And then we burn that place to the ground, and have a nice day.